Okay, it's that time of the week. Let's get it. Indeed. Man talk, man talk, man talk, man talk, man talk central. That's what we're doing here. 4 dudes out of the mud, now we're ruling here. We give it to you, deliver like Amazon. You're listening to Kings and Champions. No matter what we're talking about, we're gonna give it to you straight, man, no doubt. No doubt. Hey yo, we on our way to greatness. God's got our back, so chill and relax. This is Man Talk Central. Welcome back to another episode of Man Talk Central. Let's get it.
Welcome back to another episode of Man Talk Central, where experience meets perspectives and nothing is off limits. No filters, no fluff, just raw and uncut conversation. Before we get into it, make sure you tap in with us, like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. You can also reach us directly by email. Now, let's get into it. Let me introduce you to some present to others. Three brothers like no other. Dan, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And I'd like to say happy Mother's Day, and special happy Mother's Day to my beautiful and lovely wife. Hope you guys enjoy your day.
Dan and DJ Eddie T. You said he refuses to be in the house 66 degrees or less.
Especially on May 9th. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And being that it's Mother's Day weekend, I want to give a special shout out to all the mothers.
Gotcha. And the dark-skinned version of Thurgood Marshall. Colonel Esquire, good morning, sir.
Good morning, gang. Happy Mother's Day weekend, all the mothers out there. My wife, my mother, your wives, your mothers, gentlemen, let's go. Let's get it.
Outstanding. I'm your host, RB3, the law-abiding citizen. As everybody has stated, it's Mother's Day weekend, so happy Mother's Day to all your mothers, to my mother, to my wife, to my mother-in-law, to those who aspire to be a mother. Happy Mother's Day to you too. Now, with that, we have a couple topics. This week, I believe we're talking about LeBron and Bronny and the Kentucky Derby. So with that, both of them being first, right? So that's kind of ironic that our topics are just talking about the first pioneers. So we'll start with LeBron and Bronny James. Now, mind you, they're the first father and son duo that actually played in a regular season game. Many people have had a wide range of comments, positive and negative, but I just can't imagine playing with my son or working in my industry and being able to hire him to play. So with that, I'm going to open it up with DJ Eddie T, and we'll go from there.
Yes, I really have thought about this particular subject, and I think that it's an amazing feat. With Cal Ripken Jr., with Ken Griffey Jr., being able to play together, same teams, but never that I remember has it ever happened in basketball. Definitely hasn't happened in football. If it has, I don't know how. But anyway, with this being done, I feel that, you're out there playing, the superstar, of course, of the team has had major, major impact on his son. I'm pretty sure that Bronny looks at his dad as his hero growing up, and just being able to go to work with your dad. That's always been something that a kid has always wanted to do. But at this level, that is just like, wow. I just marvel at that, because that is just super, super cool. Just even to make it to the league is one thing, but to have a father and a son make it to the league and then play together, that is amazing. Secondly, I don't know, can't remember LeBron's wife's name, but just to see her husband and her son on the floor at the same time, that has to be amazing as well. And just a feeling of just, I don't necessarily want to say completeness, but that's just a blessing. Their Christmas at the dinner table. That has to be an amazing conversation. I mean, they may just do it every night, but I'm just saying, typically when families get together, you talk about things that you've accomplished, and that's just one that I feel is something that I don't think anybody will ever do again. Um, Playoffs, as well as the playoffs go, I guess, what was it, the last game or whenever they were playing together, I just happened to glance at the TV and just saw them play. And then I looked up some of their plays that they have done together and some of the clips and alley-ooping to each other. I remember one particular play. It's like, man, that is pretty cool.
The left hand. LA on the move. Up top. Bronny James from his third.
So I just basically want to congratulate those two, as well as, their mom/wife on a successful family that they've put together.
Outstanding. So the first lady of basketball, Savannah is her name. What I will say, I sit and think about, Bronny, you should have passed me the ball last night. Well, Dad, if you would have been open, if you were cherry picking, no, I'm just tripping. But anyway, Dan, talk to us, sir.
Yeah, I got to take a look at that, and regardless of how I feel or anybody feels about LeBron not being the GOAT or being the GOAT, it is a tremendous feat to be able to play any sport at the major league with your son. That's got to be a great feeling for him, regardless of what we all think or what we all say. It's something you would aspire to. You reach the top of your profession and you're able to groom your son and get your son in there, or your daughter, however you want to put it, to be at the top of their profession. Bronny's still got some growing to do, but that's understandable. He's still young. We'll see where his career leads him as his dad exits. Looks like it's passing the torch. So I think it's a beautiful thing to watch for those that can appreciate it. And let's see where this goes. Hopefully, I'm a Thunder fan, but hopefully they have some good times before they make their exit out of the playoffs.
Outstanding. Just imagine LeBron's mom, though, right? How she feels. One thing, her son, freaking nature, made it to the league. Come on, bar none, he has far exceeded everybody's expectation. And then to have her grandson playing, not playing after the father's retired, but playing the same court, same time with the son. That's something special. Come on, Esquire, talk to it.
Yeah, well, let me start off by saying I remember years ago, I think Miles might have been in the 7th or 8th grade, and the school he was going to at the time had like a father-son basketball game. And so they invited all the dads to come out and play. And I just remember it was, a memorable thing for two reasons. For one, the opportunity to hang out, with my son and play ball and stuff like that. And then two, it made me appreciate the Army lifestyle because I was the only one that was in shape. Everybody else was running around with flip disc and beer bellies and could barely move and stuff like that. Me and Miles was just pretty much running all over the court, you know what I'm saying? But just that small moment with me and how happy and, full of pride I felt. So I can only imagine, how LeBron's feeling. And so let me go on to say, like, if you noticed, like, I think Rob mentioned Cal Ripken, or at DJDC mentioned Cal Ripken, and was it his son or his dad? I'm not sure. And then Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. And they were able to just kind of hang on long enough for them to play, but LeBron was able to not only hang on long enough to see his son play, but kind of to offer guidance and kind of shield a lot of the stuff from the media and the backlash and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even if we look at, like, say the balls, LeVar Ball and his sons, and how much scrutiny did he get for trying to, guide his sons and, basically set the path for them to go in the NBA. Look at what we're seeing with Deion Sanders and Shador. All the backlash because of, people maybe not like Deion back in the day, so now they're taking it out on Shador, or at least they were anyway. Hopefully that's changed. So LeBron has been able to not only guide his son, but also be in a position where he can kind of shield a lot of that and control a lot of that because he's still, he's certainly not in his prime, but he's still good enough to be a contributor on the court and have some influence. And so I think that in itself kind of makes this even a bigger deal because he's able to pretty much kind of shield his son long enough to get him to play, or at least get him on the court, get him some time. Now, of course, to Dan's point, yeah, he obviously has, Bronny obviously has more room to grow and develop and mature. But the fact that he's able to do it with his dad on an NBA team, while he's still able to play and contribute on the court means something. So I'm happy for him. And again, going back to the critique of LeBron, a lot of people say that he's kind of overstayed his welcome, like he's past his prime and should have retired and he's tarnishing the legacy. All of that very well may be true in some aspects. But I'm pretty sure if you would ask him, looking back, the fact that he was able to do that and staying long enough to get his son in the league, you know what I mean? And I think he's got another kid playing too. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on for him, but definitely with Bronny, I think that's a major accomplishment.
Outstanding. Colonel Squire, it's funny you talk about when you played with your son. I got to show our trophy. This was Family Day in the Park, 2012. My sons was like, Dad, come on up here. We're going to play in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. I said, man, I'm washing these cars. They said, nah, come on up. So went up there. There's about 9 teams. And I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. But I said, it was cool. Let me go and play with my sons. And my youngest son is Mr. Dribbler. He think he's Isaiah Thomas, AI. And Trey, the shortest person in America, yet he was shooting threes all over the place. All I was doing was getting rebounds and kicking it out. But we ended up winning 3rd place, and it was definitely a great day. And we laughed, and it was hilarious. However, I was just sitting there like, wow, this is pretty cool. Fast forward to about 2019, I had the opportunity to bring my youngest son up here to work at DISA with me. I was trying to get him to the IT field, and but I didn't stay in DISA long enough. He's still there, but it was pretty cool just to have that access or that network to help bring on a family member. Most importantly, your son or your daughter. So kudos to the LeBron and his family for everything that they have built. I'm a big harsh critic on him because I'm a Michael Jordan fan, but at the end of the day, that brother is a pillar, right, of what success really looks like, right? So it's not about, I was raised by a single mother. It's not about, I grew up in Ohio. It's all about his choices that he made and the fact that he just, hey, somebody took a liking to him and they continue to coach and mentor and train him, and look where he is now. So with that, anybody have any alibis on the LeBron legacy?
You better watch out for the wolves. Watch out for the wolves. Watch out, watch out, watch out for the wolves. You better watch out for the wolves. Watch out for the wolves. Watch out, watch out, watch out for the wolves. Watch out for the wolves, cause they dressing up like sheep. They sneaky and they subtle when they walk around and creep. They watching when you sleep, and not just when your eyes are closed, looking for a way to knock you down like some dominoes. So stay alert, stay awake, stay vigilant. A real one versus the wolf, know the difference. Pay attention, they gon' study like a test. They get you when you're down, never try you at your best. Always wishing that you fail, never ever for success. Got your life cleaned up, they gon' try to make a mess and fill your life with stress and take your happiness. Their only goal in life, their one and only quest. Smiling in your face, but they wanna take your place. Pretending to be real, but all the while they're fake. A wolf is gonna wolf, cause that's just what they do. If you don't know the wolf is probably you. You better watch out for the wolves. Watch out for the wolves. Watch out, watch out, watch out for the wolves. You better watch out for the wolves. Watch out for the wolves. Watch out, watch out, watch out for the wolves. You better watch out for for the wolves. Watch out for the wolves. Watch out, watch out, watch out for the wolves. You better watch out for the wolves. Watch out for the wolves. Watch out, watch out, watch out for the wolves. Everybody's got a wolf that they probably go to work with. Just another clown trying to get you in the circus. Acting like your friend, but they have a hidden purpose. But you won't see it if you're only looking at the surface. You gotta go deep, beyond what they're telling you. Forget about the price. Look at what they're selling you. Fronting like they're helping you. But behind closed doors with the boss trying to sabotage your revenue. Speaking from experience. Hard knocks, a thief will steal your stuff even when the car's locked. When something bad happens, then they all mock, but I still shine like diamonds. Argyle socks, never let them see you sweat. Don't get nervous, keep your eyes on God, He will keep you for His purpose. Let the Lord do the fighting, He will bless you, even if He's gotta move you to protect you. Watch out for the wolves, watch out for the wolves. Watch out, watch out, watch out for the wolves. Watch out for the wolves, watch out for the wolves. Watch out, watch out, watch out for the wolves. Watch out for the wolves, watch out for the wolves. Watch out, watch out, watch out for the wolves.
All right, let's go into that derby. Another first. Now, I'm a little disappointed, right? Because I said I'm going to use Chat GPT to pick the winners. But you just never know what may happen. But I will tell you, Chat GPT, the top 5, got 3 of the 5 right. My pick was Renegade, who ended up being number 2, and still won a couple dollars. However, you guys need to look into that AI. But anyway, so we have Golden Temple Comeback. I think he was like a 23-24-1 underdog. If you would have bet $50, you would have won, I think it was like $15K or something like that. So that's pretty wild. But the ironic thing about it, you had 2 brothers that were jockeys that won first and second place. And then the trainer, historically, first woman to win in a derby. So with that, I'm going to open it up. I should have started with you, DJ ADT. Matter of fact, I am, because you are the horse to me on this podcast. So I'm starting with you again, sir.
Well, I appreciate you being so kind and thinking of me, but I am a quarter horse. I won't say guru, but more of a quarter horse fan. But these being thoroughbreds, I love horse racing. So, but yeah, for Jose, and I believe you pronounce his name Irid Ortiz Jr. I know that they have had brother jockeys in the Kentucky Derby and in races before, but never to win first and second.
A huge congratulations to Jose Ortiz.
Just amazing experience. I can't wait to see my family and celebrate.
And to his brother, Irad Ortiz Jr., finishing second. 2 brothers, top of the sport, together.
I think that's just like, wow, what are the chances of that? And I don't know what jockeys and stuff get paid, and obviously they get a cut of whatever the purse is for such a large race, but that's like, wow, man, that's pretty cool. Golden Tempo, yes, you're correct. I think his odds were 23-1. If anyone goes back and watches that race, he literally was dead last. And when he started making that move, coming around that curve, I mean, people were like, oh my goodness, look at this. So him just kicking and doing his thing, that was a pretty major comeback that he did. Now, he will not be in the Preakness. He has already pulled out of that race for whatever reason, so he won't be up for the Triple Crown. I don't know why they pulled him. Yeah, I mean, it could be health reasons. It could be, because it's 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby, from what I recall. And they may be just saving him for the Belmont. I don't know. But anyway. And then Cherie Devaux, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Devaux, first lady trainer to ever win the Kentucky Derby. I mean, like you said in the beginning of the segment, boom, 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 first. So for a lot of women out there that have always made that statement of we can do things as well, I mean, here's proof again that they're capable of doing whatever they set their minds to. And I take my hat off to her, because I know that's a tough world. I'm pretty sure that, men make different remarks and, act different certain ways with her and tell her that she can't do whatever she can do, and she proved them wrong. So kudos to her. But overall, this was a pretty cool Kentucky Derby, and I'm proud of everybody in this whole situation for the good deal.
Cool, cool. I know I had a good friend, well, actually family, the Roberts family. They actually volunteered to go and work the Derby this year. They said it was very exciting. Took a lot of pictures with horses, and just the whole experience is pretty exciting. I keep saying I'm gonna go 1 year, haven't made it yet, but thanks a lot, DJ Eddie T. And at first I thought you said it was Jose in Iran, but it's Iraq. Okay, y'all missed the joke. On that note, let's go with Dan. Talk to me, sir.
Yeah, congratulations to everybody for being top notch out there. Uh, Honestly, don't pay attention to the races until the subject was brought up, and it was a pretty interesting race. It was pretty nice to watch. Got to see the sky view of it. Uh, Actually, a replay, and makes you wonder. I mean, branching out into different categories and different subjects. You got hockey, you got horse racing, and apparently there's been black jockeys in horse racing for a while, which I did not know until I started looking into it. So it is pretty interesting, and congratulations to everybody. That's all I can say. I'm not a horse race guy, but that's a great accomplishment.
Outstanding. Thank you, sir. Colonel Esquire.
All right. So, first, let me echo everybody's comments about the trainer, the jockeys. Like that's a great thing. Another sign of progress, diversity. I'm all about it. I'm all for it. Um, with that being said, though, I think I'm going to be like a negative Nancy for a second when it comes to the Kentucky Derby. Like, for one, I've never really got into it. Never really understood the concept. I'm not a gambler. But when I was, gambling a little bit here and there back in the day, I'd always prefer dog races over horse races anyway, because you don't know if that jockey's getting paid to, you know, throw a race or, you know, got bubble guts on when he's running. You know what I'm saying? Like there's all kind of stuff that might happen to where you can't, you don't lose your money on the trifecta because the fix is in. At least with a dog, you just got to worry about him chasing that little rabbit around the track or whatever the case is. I don't know. Uh, I'm not really a fan of it, but I do appreciate the fact of, again, no matter what genre it is or what field, what industry, you're seeing diversity. You're seeing like opportunities not being limited to just, certain races or certain groups. Like people having opportunities to advance and pursue their dreams. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not hating on the fact that just because I'm not necessarily a fan of the Kentucky Derby or horse racing, like I'm extremely happy that we're seeing some diversity in people who grew up in a different culture environment. They want to pursue that. So that's the fact that we had the trainer and the jockey win, that speaks volumes. Um, but then again, I'm like, I don't know why she would get backlash um, in that industry anyway. If she is proving herself to either own the horse or be able to train the horse. And again, how you train a horse? It's not like you could be out there, all right, go, go, go. No, you're not running this right. Let me show you how to do it. Do these drills, do that. Like, how do you train a horse? You know what I'm saying? Either the horse is going to run or the horse ain't going to run. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you can make it do sprints or do suicides if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? Like, how you communicate with a horse? Like, who's the horse whisperers out there? Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but we do have a SME on the call. So let's let DJ Eddie T answer that one. How do you train a horse?
Yeah, please do
Well,
that.
it's all in. Okay, it's more the getting in shape than anything, but still, you have to work with him on getting in and out of the starting gates. That's training. If you really pay attention to the beginning of those races, sometimes those horses have a very, very, very hard time getting in those starting gates. So they get anxious because they know as soon as we get in here, it's like, boom, the gates come open. So I take that and this kind of equivalent to training a roping horse. We have to get them to the point to where they're calm when they're going into competition. So that's the first part of training right there, is just calmness. Every time you hear a gate bang, you don't have to jump. Go ahead, Rob.
What do you give them to calm them down?
You don't give them anything. It's called time. That's what you give them. You give them time.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
All jokes aside, you give them time. Some people will shoot them with a little something to calm their nerves.
Okay.
Kind of, bring them down a little bit. In horse racing and stuff, they can't do that because I'm pretty sure they're drawing blood just like after an Olympic event. How they're treating our athletes, they want to make sure that they're not taking anything to make them faster, stronger, whatever the case is. But yes, from the starting gate to the pacing themselves, going around the track, there's training involved. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, there is training involved. They have to get their endurance up. Even though they're a thoroughbred, their distance, all of them can run certain distances. You have certain thoroughbreds that can only run however many furlongs. Then you have some that can run 1.5 miles. And the quarter horse, just to let you guys know, quarter horse got his name by actually being able to outrun the thoroughbred in a 1/4 mile every time. That's how he got his name. So a lot of people don't really know the difference. Basically the quarter horse is the sprinter, thoroughbred is the distance guy. You can look at their bodies. Quarter horse is going to be short, stocky, muscular, explosive. Thoroughbred is going to be tall, long. It's just, a whole different deal. But back to your question, it's all in just preparing them for, big races.
So in other words, out of the 4 of us, I would be considered the quarter horse. Outstanding. Ephraim, I did cut you off. Did you have anything else to add to it?
No, I'm just going to be.
Hold on, Ephraim.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Again, that dad didn't run track with us. I think the 3 of us are considered the quarter horses. None of us ran distance. So just to put that out there. I just wanted to correct that real quick. Being that Ephraim was first leg, Tom was second, I was third, and you were anchor. That didn't mean a thing in the world. It just means that that's how coach put us. So you can take that.
Well, hold up. I am the fastest out of us. I was the fastest out of us. Hey, you can look all around. The facts are there. I was the fastest out of all of us. Just say it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to mute myself now.
Yeah, please
Okay.
do. Please do.
Okay.
I don't think it matters at this point because we're all slow. I know I ran yesterday or last week. Didn't even run, just kind of jogged. And I thought I was going to have to get a Toradol shot because my back was hurting. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Y'all
I can
can
run
have
to the mailbox. I think that's as far as I can go.
Y'all can have it. But yeah, I just, man, I'm just going to try to be respectful and be appreciative of what took place at the Kentucky Derby. But man, I'm not putting a nickel or quarter on any trifecta, any bet regarding a horse. I don't, if you're training the horse and they're having a bad day or bad practice, I mean, how do you motivate a horse to do well and cheer them up and, get them motivated where they're, you could play the Rocky music behind them and they're training. You can't really do all that. So I'm like, okay. And then for those of us who hadn't been to Churchill Downs, when you do go, make sure you leave after a certain time. If not, you better have your flak vest ready and your concealed carry permit because that place is in the hood of hoods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the hood of hoods in Louisville, right? And so, no disrespect to Louisville, those who live there or whatever the case is, but that's the hood. You see what I'm saying? That's like, I don't know. That'd be like putting whatever hood in your city, the worst part of the city you live in, Imagine putting a major sporting event there and inviting everybody to come. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's not necessarily uncommon because I mean, for what I understand, like baseball stadiums, like the Yankees are in the Bronx. I think it's the White Sox or the Cubs, one of the two's in the South Side. So for some reason, they put all these sporting events in the worst part of towns. But yeah, I'm good. I'll wear my big hat at the house and watch it on TV.
Probably because it's cheaper properties. But I will say this, and this is switching to another sport. But when I first moved up to Maryland, I went to Morgan State University, their homecoming. And of course, got there, it's like 2:15, sun is out, everybody's out smiling. But anyway, about 7:15, the sun starts going down. And I remember this brother said, "Yo, B, hey man, where'd you park at? 'Cause I know you didn't park in the garage." I said, "Nah, man, all that stuff was full, man. I parked like 4 blocks." He said, "You better go get your car now." Make a long story short, 2 blocks away, I was like, okay. I forgot The Wire was filmed in Baltimore, but anyway, that's a different story. But switching back to the Kentucky Derby, you ever notice that jockeys are real short? Do you know that the average height is actually between 4'10" and 5'6", but mainly is 5'2" is really like the solid average. Now, again, when I first moved to Maryland, a friend of mine purchased a cane corso, and there's a breeder here who used to be a jockey. And I was like, I'm interested in getting another cane corso. So I drive out to the farm, and this little joker came out looking like this Aquafina bottle. I was like, good Lord, girl, what's going on? But anyway, she loves cane corsos with like a little small horse. And, but it's just pretty interesting. I thought that was pretty cool. So when you talk about, I think someone said on there earlier about discriminate, that sport does discriminate against height. So, those that are vertically challenged could never be a jockey. I do believe it's because of weight, because there's only so much weight you can put on a horse, correct, Eddie T? Gotcha.
You know what it is when I push that button on the microphone. When I see the red dot, the booth is getting red hot. I'm all gas, no brakes, like I'm on the highway and I'm passing all the rest stops. I stay cruising, my flow stays fly, so high, people think that I'm using, but I stay sober, clean. I'm only under the influence of another hot 16. Shout out to Dan. Don't forget DJ Eddie T, part of the clan, the moderator, RB3, the law-abiding citizen. Generation X came to discipline your children. Then you have the lawyer, doctor, jurist. Give it to you like Frank Lucas, purist. Riding the beat like on a bus full of tourists. Cooking this beat and getting fed, nourished. You know it's the Colonel, ESQ. Straight up and down, I don't misconstrue. I give to you music that'll do a massage on your ears like deep tissue. You know it's the Colonel, ESQ. Straight up and down, I don't misconstrue. I give to you music that'll do a massage on your ears like deep tissue. Standing on business, all y'all my witness. When I first heard the beat, knew I had to flip this. You don't want to test me, haters, I'm the litmus. Bars are like the gym, I'm staying on my fitness. That's right, I push that weight, but I'm not up in the streets, I don't push that weight. Get God in your life and success awaits. Life is way too short, so you should not wait. I either win or I learn. I don't lose and I don't quit, cause quitters they do not last. You know the deal, another song for the podcast. 100 proof, like it's coming from a shot glass. It's the GIBS, don't like BS. Treat rapping like my playground. Recess, I can't even tolerate a hater like the lactose. Keep them far away and I don't even want them that close. You know it's the Colonel, ESQ. Straight up and down, I don't misconstrue. I give to you music that'll do a massage on your ears like deep tissue. You know it's the Colonel, ESQ. Straight up and down, I don't misconstrue. I give to you music that'll do a massage on your ears like deep tissue.
Well, with all that being said, we went from the Super Bowl and Bad Bunny to March Madness to Kentucky Derby. Now we're going to the NBA playoffs. Now, it is not a topic that we said we was going to discuss, but I have to talk about it because the New York Knicks is shutting the damn 76ers out 3-0. So I got to give the brothers from New York, I give them hell every now and then, but I got to give them a platform to talk about their Knicks. Go ahead, Dan.
Yo, that was a good game. That was a really good game. Brunson did his thing. It was amazing to watch. I remember talking to somebody at work, 5 minutes left. They was like, Knicks is up by 10. They said, oh, there's plenty of time to play. I said, nah, Knicks going to walk away with this one. I'm going to, kind of reserve because I know Stephen A is going to go off. I know Colonel Esquire is going to go off. But I think the Knicks got this one in the bag, and I'm not going to try to jinx them because, we still got that long wait to get to the top. So I still hopefully have them in the finals with either the Spurs or the Thunder. We'll see how that works out.
Cool. Thank you, Dan. Colonel Esquire.
Blue and orange, everything. You know what I'm talking about. You know that. So, I was concerned. I'm not going to lie. When they had that Atlanta Hawks series and they were messing around with them, it seemed like, I don't know, it's all about matchups or whatever. And, the Knicks, seemed to struggle with some of those teams throughout the year, but they pulled it through. And I know even with Embiid playing or not playing, they pretty much have seemed to have Philly's number throughout. And so I don't, a couple of years ago when they made the trade, I remember when I went to see, when I had Nets tickets. And then when I first moved here to Oklahoma and had the Thunder game, the Thunder season tickets or season pass, and I saw Mikal Bridges when he was playing for the Nets. And I always liked that dude, man. I always thought his game was smooth. And I was like, man, I hate the fact that he's playing on the Nets, but man, he's smooth. And he was killing the Thunder every time he played them. Right. And I mean, obviously he's one person, so they lost. But I was like, man. And then when they traded him to the Knicks, I'm like, yeah, this has the potential to be a great squad, right? And so I'm happy. They're firing on all cylinders. We still got to get through the Detroit. I forgot who they're playing.
Cleveland.
Yeah, Detroit and Cleveland. That kind of scares me because both of those teams are kind of dangerous. And if you remember last year, we gave Indiana the business throughout the regular season, but then we came up short in the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's kind of the same situation here. Like, I think we have to check the stats, but we've held our own against both Cleveland and Detroit. I'm with Dan. I see us in the finals with OKC or San Antonio, and believe it or not, I like my chances. I say mine like I'm on the team. I am, honorary member. I had to give them a call to the front office when they were struggling with Atlanta and tell them to shape up. I was going to have to take a flight out there and see what happened. But I like our chances better with San Antonio, believe it or not, than Oklahoma City. For some reason, New York has never been able to really do well with OKC, and I don't know what it is. But even with Wembyana and San Antonio, it seems like we've always been able to kind of get over the hump with them. If you recall, they won the in-season tournament and they beat San Antonio in the finals. But then again, they might be a different team now. But I'm rambling now. But all I'm saying is I'm looking forward to going somewhere, hopefully San Antonio, so I can link up with Dan again, but to watch the Knicks somewhere in the finals, somewhere.
Cool. DJ Eddie T.
Yes, sir. I coming out of the East, I'm digging the Knicks. Like I said, I've kind of always been, I won't say always been a Knicks fan, but I've always been a fan of Patrick Ewing. So with them being in the playoffs, I'm really pulling for them. I didn't dig the Sixers at any time from back when Dr. J and Maurice Cheeks and all those guys played. I was Sixers fan.
Andrew Tony.
Yeah, Andrew Toney, that's right. Forgot about him. Moses Malone. But anyway, yeah, I'm pulling for the Knicks to come out of that one. Spurs to come out of that one. Of course, I'm pulling for the Thunder. Oklahoma guy. I mean, shoot, I'm a Rockets fan, but definitely got to pull for the Thunder. It's just home. Pistons, Cavs, I could care less. Somebody's gonna win, somebody's gonna lose, and so whoever come out of that one comes out of that one. So, but yeah, I'd like to see the Knicks come out of the East for sure, come out of the East. I want the Thunder to do it back to back because do they have the youngest team right now in the NBA? No, I won't say in the NBA, but in the playoffs they have the youngest team. I want to say.
If not, it's the top 3.
Yeah, because I remember
Yeah.
last year I think they were the youngest.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys right here, they got themselves together. So that's my take on it.
Well, I will say this. First and foremost, I've never been a Knicks fan, right? I think when I think about the history of the Knicks, the time when they probably should have won a championship was when they lost to Indiana with that finger roll when Patrick Ewing tried to finger roll from the 3-point line and he missed it and Indiana ended up going. Yeah. But that was a good doggone team, right? But when I look at the Knicks today, I'm like, man, they got all these pieces. If they could just all play together, don't get me wrong, if every team could play together, every team would win, right? But it's just something about the Knicks that's a little bit special. And I think last year they needed that loss last year to get over the hump this year. So I strongly believe that the Knicks are going to be in the championship this year, right? So, it is what it is. However, I do hope that Oklahoma City makes it because there's not much that comes out of Oklahoma outside of these 4 brothers on this call, right? People always say, what the hell happened in Oklahoma? I'm like, well, shit, the damn Thunder's what happened. They said, well, they wasn't really the Thunder originally. They were Seattle Seahawks. I said, God damn, y'all be killing me, right? But at the end of the day, I do see New York Knicks, Oklahoma City, and it's going to be a close one. And if it's San Antonio, we all 4 just probably need to meet out there for a game, right? We might as well just go ahead and suck it up because I don't think San Antonio will be as good competition for the Knicks as the games won't be as good like it would be with Oklahoma City. Yeah, I was like, wow, New York Knicks really going to shut somebody out? Yeah, I'm inspired. And then I know before, I had some technical difficulties and you guys was talking about that running back of yours, who was it? Breece Hall getting some crazy contract. I'm like, come on, man. He was on my fantasy last year. First 8 games was horrible. I traded him. Then he blows up. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all, right? So with that being said, we're freelancing right now. Floor's open. I got to drink some water. Go ahead, Dan. I know you want to say something.
No, man, look, let's be honest about the Jets. They look good on paper most of the time. They do have some really good players. They can make some good picks. They just fall apart. That top-down management is just having issues. Hopefully they get that fixed. Like I was saying earlier, I'm honestly surprised that they spent the money to give it to Breece Hall. He does deserve it. Congratulations to him. But we'll have to see what they do this year. Every year, it seems like we get disappointed real quick. Maybe we can break 500 this year.
You got any comments, DJ Andy T?
I have no comments to that because I could care less about the Jets. So, yeah.
Damn, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Man, all I know is they're green and white, and they up there on the East Coast. But no, all jokes aside, I'm proud of the guy. I hope he does extremely well. And for 2 other gentlemen that I love dearly, I hope the Jets do something finally, just so you guys can really, really have something to smile about in 2026.
I mean, it's a shame you have to go all the way back to Joe Namath, but it happens like that. It happens like that. Corner Squad.
All right. Well, I'm gonna, reserve my comments for the Jets for another time. I am happy for Mr. Breece Hall. Again, I had the opportunity to meet him. Down to earth guy, He's from Wichita. When I was working out there, and I think I told y'all he loves coming back home because he can be himself. He don't have to worry about the crowds and the media mobbing him out there. He's a celebrity out in the city because it's one of the few good things about New York sports teams is Breece Hall. And so, just speaking to the young man briefly, he appreciated coming home because he could be himself, down to earth, and didn't have to worry about, wearing a disguise or whatever to go to the store or whatever the case is, because people already know who he is, and he's just one of the, just he's just Breece. You see what I'm saying?
Reinforce the rhythm, double check the mics, reiterate the styles I know that you like. Get your rhyme ambassador, the man you've been asking for. Can't kick past your door, automatic. I got the charismatic persona. Bar stay hot like I'm sitting inside a sauna. I stay away from the drama. I separate myself from MCs like a sentence has got a comma. G-I-B-S to the O-N. Thank you, Lord, for the blessings that you're showing. I get on the mic and start going. It's so intoxicating, like a .08 that I'm blowing. A hobby of mine, but I do it like a profession. Bars over bass and treble, there's no question. Yes, I'm confessing. Before I got saved, I used to pull girls like this at my discretion. But that man is gone, he went away. At war with your flesh, gotta die each day. In Christ, I'm a new creature. But on this microphone, yo, I'm still a monster that'll haunt ya. Watch me go bonkers, I might go unconscious. Flavor in the beat like cayenne and cilantro. Bars are raining in the booth to wear a poncho. Man talk central, 4 dudes, quattro.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So with that, real quick, kind of jumping back on the Jets, I just realized that Vegas traded Geno Smith to you guys to be a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all know y'all gonna win at least 5 games. Geno Smith's gonna give you a solid 5 games. Now after that, you might need to go to Russell Wilson or DJ ADT or Dan Carrasco, one of us. But I'm just saying, at least you got 5 victories this year. So any alibis reference NFL before we proceed to close.
No, on my side. I got to sneak out of here, fellas, but go ahead, Rob, do your thing.
Hey, not a problem. So DJ ADT, comments for the good of the order for the group.
Y'all just, hey, enjoy you guys' weekend. Be safe out there. And again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms. And see you guys next weekend.
Outstanding. Thank you, sir. Dan.
Yeah, everybody, how you would want to be treated, and hopefully we can all get along. Happy Mother's Day once again.
Outstanding. Colonel Esquire.
I echo the comments of the group. Happy Mother's Day weekend, everybody. Yeah, appreciate you all checking us out. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Then as we close this episode, let's pause, honoring the loved ones we've lost. Appreciate those who still walk beside us and welcome new lives that remind us hope is always being renewed. Remember, our time isn't endless. We got more days behind us than ahead of us. So choose to make the ones you have left count. Lead with kindness, act with purpose. Whatever you do, do it with conviction. Make your impact, make it meaningful, and above all, make it yours. We, the Fold Brothers from Down Under, saying peace and happy Mother's Day and love to all.